At the same time, Victoria, I know the example of my home country of Australia following the Port Arthur massacre in 1996. There was a huge gun buyback scheme, and that led to a dramatic reduction in gun crime. And I think now Australia is one of the lowest gun crime rates in the world. What are your reflections on what you've heard?
Well, I agree with just about everything that Greg just said. I just want to add a couple of other pointers. So first off, on the idea of a gun buyback, I actually spent my first couple years in journalism as a firearms journalist, and I remember covering one particular case. I can't remember exactly where it was out of, but it was of some police department that wanted to do a gun buyback scheme. And the place where they wanted people to turn these guns in was a church, which churches are typically one of the few places, particularly for those that want to push gun control, they're considered sensitive locations. And so in most of these places, they're actually discouraged from bringing firearms to church. That just kind of goes to show that, it's only banned when they're not doing the gun buyback there. So that's point one. Second point is, what were we just talking about in the last hour? We were talking about the knife crime epidemic over in the UK. So that just goes to show, again, what we were talking about earlier, is that people have problems regardless of where they live. And so if people want to cause harm, in many cases mass harm, they will find a way to do it regardless of what laws are on the books. And just a third point, again, just kind of overemphasizing what Greg just said, but I think just putting it in the most clear and simple plain language, is that in the majority part of the country that owns the most guns is the minority part of the crime in terms of statistics, not in terms of ethnicity, in terms of statistics. And the places with the highest crime are where people don't follow laws. They don't follow any kind of laws, so they're not going to follow gun laws. And the only people that are disarmed by radical gun control policies are the law-abiding gun owners.